Not long ago, Danny O'Shea lay motionless, eyes fixed on the harsh glare of an ER light, questioning if his legs would ever carry him again, let alone glide across the most treacherous stage on Earth. Flash forward to February 2026. The arena in Milan stands as a glittering temple of noise and brilliance, yet for Danny O'Shea and Ellie Kam, the journey too. That pristine surface was forged in the stench of hospital disinfectant and the grinding whine of orthopedic sores. To grasp why their Olympic team gold is being hailed as nothing short of miraculous, you must rewind to the catastrophe that nearly erased their careers entirely. Pairs skating is brutality masquerading as ballet, easily the most violent pursuit in the Winter Games. It demands a man launch a woman 10 feet skyward while they both tear across the ice at 30 miles per hour on razor-thin steel. Execute it perfectly and it is art. Miss by an inch and it is a medical emergency. Danny O'Shea bears the physical maps of those failures. Approaching these games, Danny wasn't training for a podium, he was fighting just to stay upright. He competed on a foot reconstructed with 2 metal plates and 11 screws, a career-ending sentence for nearly any other 34-year-old athlete. To Danny, that was simply Tuesday. The truly frightening damage, however, left no visible mark. That horror belonged to his partner, Ellie Kam. Right as Danny clawed his way back from surgery, Ellie sustained a devastating concussion, 1 second airborne the next, striking the frozen ground with a stomach-churning crack. The world watched them in Milan, beaming atop the podium with gold draped over their shoulders. What the cameras missed were the months of blacked-out rooms, the quiet agony, and the specialists insisting that retirement was the only logical path. Nobody saw the blood spilled on the practice rink. They only saw the glory. Past the physical trauma lay a massive chasm in experience. When they united in 2022, insiders dismissed them as a Frankenstein experiment. On one end stands Danny O'Shea, the 34-year-old embodiment of American skating power and grit. He is an all-around athlete forged on the football field, the soccer pitch, and the basketball court. Possessing a raw strength seldom seen in figure skating, he had already lived a full career with former partner Tara Kane, claiming a national crown in 2016. He served as the first alternate for the 2018 Games, stranded in the stands of South Korea for a month, close enough to smell the Olympic ice, but never allowed to carve it. Opposite him is Ellie Kam, 21 years old and radiating pure Gen Z energy. Born on the Yokota Air Base in Japan, this rookie injected a fearless modern attitude into a discipline that had grown stale in the States. Naysayers claimed the 13-year age difference was insurmountable, insisting their timing on the ice would never sink. The partnership was branded a Hail Mary, a frantic final attempt by 2 skaters with nowhere left to turn. Yet as exclusive features in major magazines later revealed that very distance proved to be their secret weapon. Danny brought the titanium stability of a veteran, while Ellie supplied the explosive spark. Together, they forged an unshakable trust amidst the most chaotic season of their careers. In Milan, that mismatched connection became the lifeline Team USA desperately needed. But first, consider the injury no one could see. Reports confirmed that Ellie's concussion marked the definitive turning point for the duo. In this sport, a woman places her life in her partner's hands, but after a traumatic brain injury, the equation changes. It becomes a battle to trust your own mind. Unlike a fracture that knits together visibly on an X-ray, brain recovery is a maze without a map. It demands weeks of absolute cognitive shutdown, no screens, no bright lights, no noise. For an Olympian wired for action, that stillness is agony. During the quiet, Danny had to master a different kind of teamwork. He had to learn radical patience, reminding the press that true healing often happens in the dark. He waited, holding on to the faith that Ellie would return, serving as the anchor, even while his own surgically repaired foot screamed in protest. This resilience became the O'Shea standard. The man has weathered every storm imaginable. From hernias to fractures and crushed Olympic dreams, he knew the only road to Milan lay in prioritizing neurology over repetition. The days of grinding out 100 throws per session ended. They pivoted to precision and clutch execution. On paper, they entered the Milano arena as the roster's liability. Team USA boasted the quad god, Ilya Malinin, and the world champion ice dancers Chock and Bates. Kam and O'Shea were simply expected to keep their heads above water. Yet when the vice tightened, the pair with the most scars proved to be the ones forged from the toughest steel. The reckoning arrived on Sunday night, February 8, 2026. The United States found itself locked in a vicious dogfight with Japan. The quad god Ilya Milanin faltered in his short program, and the American lead began to crumble. Suddenly, the weight of the entire event crashed down on the pair's team. The atmosphere crackled as Kam and O'Shea took the ice skating to a mashup of Sweet Dreams and Everybody Wants to Rule the World. The soundtrack was dead on for a duo that had lived through a nightmare just to reach this moment. Only 2 days prior, their short program had ended in disaster. Ellie had taken a hard spill on the throw triple loop, the exact element that has plagued her since her concussion recovery. Pundits expected them to play it safe in the free skate. The Americans had other ideas. At the 2-minute mark, they lined up the throw triple lutz. This is where physics meets fear. Danny launches her with the force to clear a compact car. For a heartbeat, she is suspended in midair, spinning violently, completely untethered from gravity. She stuck the landing. Cold. Then came the monster the throw triple loop that had taken her out 48 hours earlier. The arena fell deathly silent. Danny's release was surgical. Ellie Kam didn't just land it. She flowed out with a grin visible from the rafters, helping post a massive career high of 135.36. That score secured 4th place in the segment, but the math was what mattered. It grabbed 7 crucial points for Team USA. Without that clutch performance, the gold medal would have slipped away to Japan. They weren't just filling a roster spot, they became the anchors who secured the title. How did they pull it off when fresh legs crumbled? Simple. Danny O'Shea is the ultimate veteran. At 34, he is a master of the lift, the secret weapon where pairs teams rack up points. He is widely regarded as one of the planet's premier lifters. Even Tara Lipinski and Johnny Weir marveled at his raw power during the broadcast. He doesn't just hoist Ellie, he creates a rock-solid platform that lets her artistry shine. But his true value was mental. The squad was reeling after the short program debacle. Ellie was in tears. Danny, drawing on 3 decades of near misses and heartbreak, was the rock she needed. He reminded her the goal wasn't perfection. It was to find the joy in the skate. This is Danny O'Shea's redemption arc. He sat out 2018 as an alternate. He watched 2022 from the couch. In 2026, the door finally opened. He walked through it as the captain the US program desperately needed. The Associated Press observed that their podium smiles were built on a foundation of agony. That is the gold medal reality. It isn't about 4 minutes of music. It is about the decades of missed birthdays and normal life you trade to be there. Danny O'Shea gave his 20s to this sport. In Milan at age 35, the ice finally paid him back. Speaking to People magazine, the pair discussed what this victory signals for the future of American pairs skating. For years, the US has been a powerhouse in singles and dance treating pairs like the forgotten stepchild. Kam and O'Shea just flipped that script. They proved you don't need a 10-year partnership to win. You just need shared grit. This skate was for the broken, the aging, and the rookies. Ellie Kam, the 21-year-old military brat, is now the blueprint for every undersized skater told they don't have the resume. Danny O'Shea is the patron saint of every veteran told they are past their expiration date. Their victory is being hailed as the emotional peak of the 2026 Games, a triumph of spirit over medical charts. They didn't take gold because they had the most raw talent. They won because they were the hardest to kill. During the national anthem, Ellie gripped that medal like a lifeline, a heavy piece of metal she reportedly slept with under her pillow. It wasn't just a souvenir, it was physical proof of survival. Winning in Milan isn't about staying on your feet. It is about how fast you get back up. Ellie Kam and Danny O'Shea aren't just champions. They are survivors who turned a trauma ward into a podium. They transmuted a concussion and a shattered foot into a masterclass in clutch performance. Heading into the individual event tonight, February 15th, they are no longer the underdogs. They are the MVPs. Mission accomplished. The joy is back. The legend of Kam and O'Shea will go down as the medical miracle of 2026. It is a reminder that the best Olympic moments aren't the flawless ones. They are the honest ones. The gold in Milan wasn't claimed by the roster with the most quadruple jumps or the easiest path, but by the team that possessed the grit to rise from the ashes. That is a legacy destined to echo through the ages.